Hey there everyone, and welcome to a special edition showing a challenge map. This is Castle Sommar in Master Difficulty. I'm going to go straight in because this takes quite a long time to play through. Yes, this is 100,000 power suggested, and it's super tough. I'm playing with a character that is almost identical to what my actual character. So I have on the stats page, I have 200% fire and 130% water. I'm actually using a full water build because I need to have Master of Ice for auto crit. And yeah, so basically it's going to be spamming drakes. Obviously I've got potions active, and I'm going to be making full use of those. So it's a lot of empowered frozen sphere, spam, and water beam, because water beam is actually really strong. Now this first bit, what you've got to look out for really, because the problem is everything can one-shot you. Well, sorry, not one-shot you. Everything can kill you. They're all very dangerous. They'll all kill you 2 hits or 1 hit, and yeah, so you need to keep them behind your drakes at all times. Now my skills are going to be slowing them. You'll see a lot of the melee enemies, if they get hit by drakes and also empowered frozen sphere, they're going to be flying around all over the place. Oh, okay. Yep, that was me getting hit there just very quickly. So I actually screwed up a little bit here, and what I really want to be focusing on is there's a summoner here. You'll probably notice there's a lot of small enemies stacking up right now, and that's because there's a spawner behind them. So yeah, I can clear out small enemies quite quickly by spamming empowered frozen sphere, which is all very good, but I need to get to that summoner. So it's not the end of the world if I can't take it down quickly, because as you can see I can clear out these small enemies, and they struggle to take down my drakes. But yeah, really I want to be focusing on this summoner as much as possible, trying to get water beams on it. You can see now I'm managing to attack it, kill it off, and that's what will get this fight done. So the majority of this fight is actually the boss battle. The boss battle takes ages, and surely if I was stronger then it would take less time. I mean, that's one of the main problems, is I'm nowhere near 100,000 power, so I can definitely play through it by using sort of good tactics and stuff, but actually doing it quickly is not possible. I think it takes about 10 to 12 minutes, something like that. My first run, I've only actually done 2 runs. My first run took 15 minutes because I was being very cautious, and I didn't actually use water beam to begin with, because that does help with damage output. I need teleport to get away if I'm about to die, because I don't want to pay the revive cost. The entry cost is 25 tokens, which actually isn't too much if you think about it. So it's about 400,000 gold, which, considering the kind of people who are going to be doing this map, 400,000 gold isn't much at all. And 250 gems to revive every time you die is. So I don't want to be paying that, sorry. And here again, you've got a spawner. It's the Shroud Impaler. He's stood behind right now. Ah, there we go. Now I can get to him. When I don't have Master of Ice active, I do almost no damage because almost nothing crits, I don't think. So yeah, it's only about 2/3 of the time I get to do damage. And it's pretty much spamming skills. Staying back and being cautious. What's interesting about this Shroud Impaler summoner is he actually, when he spawns more enemies, the old enemies die off. So you're never going to have hordes and hordes of them, but you're also never going to get to him if you just keep killing off the enemies, because you're not going to kill them fast enough. Another thing to note as you go through this is watch out for range enemies, because they will absolutely massacre you, and you can't get away from them the way you can melee enemies. So you want to skip some of the enemies in this map. You should know this map because it's a story map, and there's some enemies down in the bottom right here which, oh, you don't need to face, and I didn't mean to move over there. Yes, so I just go along the left of the bridges here and take out the enemies along there, avoiding the ones which I'm just going to waste time on killing. So the reason why I chose this setup is water beam adds fear, empowered frozen sphere over fire blast because it's water damage, and the really heavy slow on it is going to help a lot for keeping enemies away from the frost drakes. It just stops them from attacking the frost drakes so much, and ultimately that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to keep your frost drakes alive, because as long as they're there you're not going to get hurt, and yeah, you can't get hit at all. So empowered frozen sphere is going to slow them quite heavily and keep them away. Water beam also does fear, which can be used to sort of pull away single targets. Now here, the main problem here, it's not this Shroud Warlord, it's the range enemies. You'll see there I got hit once there. Hit a water beam on it, so I knew it wasn't going to hit me anymore for a while. There are a couple more range enemies. There's one I'm attacking now, and then there's one there, which I should be killing them off now. Yep. Okay, there's just one left, so I can focus on this Shroud Warlord now. But yeah, you've got to make sure you take them down, because otherwise, as soon as you have no drakes, they're going to be hitting you instead, and that's a big problem. So it's not long now before we get to the boss. Not much more. Not really any more difficult fights. I mean, I've only done two runs, so I don't know for sure like where the points are where you can die. But that first fight is quite tricky, and then the Shroud Impaler can force you to back away quite a lot. Here with those range enemies, you can kind of die, and then I'm really gonna screw this over with slow right now, as best I can. You don't want it to run up to where the other enemies are, so put Frost Drakes just behind it, and it should stop it. Nope, it didn't stop it. Oh well. I'll try and kill it off. The Frost Drakes don't actually do much damage. Normally, in the past, wizards have been able to sort of bypass difficulty when you come to these challenge maps by just using Frost Drakes, and they do loads, but they don't actually do that much right now, so the majority of the damage is definitely coming from me. Frost Drakes are hitting just a small amount. I should just see, I think I'm hitting about 600,000 when I've got Master of Ice active, and my Drake hits, what was that? Hard to see. I think it's like 150,000 or something, so it's something, but it's not really a significant amount. These guys just get screwed over so much by the slow. You see that they all kind of just run around. It's the combined effect of the heavy slow from Powered Frozen Sphere plus the slow from Frost Drake puts them over 100% slow, so they literally slide around. I'm sure you've probably experienced that in PvP, where you end up sliding around all over the place, and it's there are a few different things which can cause it, desync and that kind of stuff, but one of the actual game mechanics which kind of leads to that is if you get hit by over 100% slow. And I think the way they corrected that in PvP is I think they put a limit, so you can only be slowed by 100%, no more than that. But anyway, we now came up to the boss fight, and this is actually not too bad. As long as you know the attacks of the boss, you're going to be alright. You're going to have to take down these small enemies, because they don't respawn on timer, so because you want to be safe, you just want to take them all down, really. They respawn at certain points of his health. Well, I should say more enemies spawn at certain points of his health. So yeah, I'm just going to spam all my skills into them and try and take them down. You can see Empowered Frozen Sphere working very nicely there when after they've killed the Drake, and they're all just kind of really slowly walking over to me. It can't do much. So he's got two attacks to watch out for. There's that which he places that area of effect on the ground for a bit, and then the other one is when he raises his arm up in the air and then does a huge area. So yeah, he's doing the stomp again. So put down another Drake at the side. The other enemies are almost dead. I wonder if maybe he doesn't use the other attack until his health has gone down a bit. That'd be interesting. But anyway, this boss fight's going to take a while. It's going to be a few minutes, and it doesn't really get very interesting other than the fact of you'll see me teleporting to dodge some things, and this is when you really need teleport. Right, so as you can see, the next wave of enemies spawn after health has only gone down by a tiny bit, so make sure you don't focus on the boss right at the beginning, because you will end up with a load of enemies suddenly. So yeah, this is the really big attack, and you don't want to be anywhere near for that, or else that is death. Okay, I actually just teleported near them. Okay, we're safe. I teleported into where the firestorm thing was going off. Right, enemy down, and now we're on to the boss. Back to the boss again. I think the next set of enemies spawn when he's down at half health or so. So it's just kind of free running until then. just make sure when you do teleport, go into a nice location. You don't want to be caught in the wrong place without a teleport ready. That's what I found. So I'm not going to be showing this for Archer or Knight, simply because I don't really play those, and it's going to take me a load of time. And I've got so much stuff to do with this festival. I haven't even got my platinum set yet. I'm over 100 runs, and I've just had like my worst event ever, and it happens to fall on the event, which takes me ages to do. Well, it takes, I think, like 2 minutes to do runs now, because they did make it a bit shorter. But it's not a good one to be unlucky on. And plus, I need to do the 120 elite runs before then I can get to this. And yeah, I'm not going to be farming it until early next week, I think. Ooh, no! Why did it have to do that? The angling, with that angle, I couldn't, it forced me to run in. I should have been more careful there. It just moved my character into the the thing that hit me. Whatever you call it. I don't know what you'd call that attack, actually. It's quite a weird attack. So yeah, this is the next wave of enemies. It's about 2/3 of his health, actually, not half. It's Master of Ice back. It's really annoying when Master of Ice isn't up, and you just don't do much damage. Quite a few people have been doing this map. I didn't think many would. I'm not sure how many are going to be, how many will have done it by the end. But yeah, I was thinking probably only maybe 25 in total would probably do this, because it costs like 18,000 gems to get to this point. Well, 19,200 to be exact, I think. But yeah, so it costs a ton of gems to get to this this map, and then the map itself is super hard. Like wizards do find this kind of thing easier because we have auto crit. But yeah, maybe they're all doing it in parties, and so they find it a lot easier. I'm definitely gonna have to play this in a party, because in solo this just takes forever. We should be able to get it in. I've got 3 minutes more of recording time, but as you can see, he's got a ton of health. So, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video anyway. I'm not really sure if I'll commentate with much more, because, to be honest, there's not really a lot I want to say, other than an update is coming, I'm not sure when, and with they've said on the forum about advanced skills and sort of revamping all the current skills, because as time's gone on, archers have just got completely overpowered. In PvE I'm talking about. They do about 5 times the damage per second the other classes, and yeah, they are the sort of damage class, but like in King's Road, the way it works, everyone needs damage. If you don't have damage output, then you just can't complete stuff, and yeah, it's not fair that archers are so far ahead, and content's been like scaled towards archers for ages now, which has made it so much harder for knights. I've just been able to kind of continue soloing stuff because I'm a strong wizard, but like almost everyone's having to party up that I know of in top guilds. And yeah, so they're going to be revamping all the skills by pretty much just adding skill levels on top of them, which adds on damage and stuff. I don't want to give anything away, too much away, but you can tell I'm not concentrating. I'm talking. But yeah, so I don't want to give too much away, but it does look very cool what they've done, and it should be interesting. I haven't seen advanced skills, but they should be basically additional skills added onto the classes. I'm not sure how many, but yeah, they'll be cool, because they should fill in some of the gaps which some classes have, I think. So yeah, all very good stuff for the game in the long run, I think, and I don't believe it will be sort of gem heavy. It's not like another bit of another addition to the game which then costs loads of gems to kind of do, like for example guild raids. They don't really add a lot to the game, to be honest, other than the fact that that's what like loads of games seem to have, is guild raids. So yeah, I prefer it very much, and should be a lot of fun. So that was this. Finally, we've done it. I had a couple of deaths, didn't I? But they were kind of bad mistakes. If I was actually concentrating, I shouldn't have done that. So that's the challenge map. I managed it perfectly timed at 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in another video soon. Thanks very much.